The House will come to order. The pledge this morning will be given by Peyton Hall, Fleming High School, Flemingsburg, Kentucky, and he is the guest of Representative Crap Tharp.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Mr. Randall, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt, Baisley, Beckman, Benavidez, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Buck, Buckner, Buenteo, Caraveo, Carver, Catlin, Coleman, Cutter, Duran, Escar, Exum, Froelich, Galindo, Garnett, Geithner, Representative Geithner,
There he is.
Gonzalez Gutierrez, Gray, Gray,
Excused.
Representative Gray is present. Hanson, Herod,
She's
Newton,
here.
Humphrey, Jackson, Arquez Lewis, Kennedy, Kip, Kraft Tharp, Landgraf, Larson, Lewis, Liston, Lontine, McCluskey, McKean,
McKean is excused.
McLaughlin, Melton,
Here.
Michelson Jade, Molika, Neville, Pelton, Ransom,
What movie is Smokey from?
Ransom,
Excused.
Representative Ransom is present.
Thank you.
Rich,
Why did he get fired on Friday?
Roberts, Sane, excused. Sandridge, Singer,
Excused. There he is. He's here.
Representative Singer is present. Sirota, Snyder, Soper, Sullivan, Tipper, Tatone, Valdez A, Valdez D, Van Winkle, Weissman, Williams, Wilson, Madam Speaker Becker.
With 62 present and 3 excused, we have a quorum. Representative Larson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the Journal of Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019 be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The amendment passes. Representative Melton's just getting his voice ready for this afternoon. No! Announcements and introductions. Anyone? Any announcements or introductions? Seeing no announcements or introductions, the next order, Representative Melton.
Sorry, thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a reminder, today is Thursday, which means tomorrow is bow tie, bolo, baby, all kind of things Friday, so be sure to do that. And since it is budget night, we will be doing closest to the time for passing the cow, so I'll be sending that sheet around. Remember, it is whoever gets closest to the time that we actually pass the cow after all the cow amendments without going over. All right.
Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I know nobody's really thinking about committee work, but some of us do have committee work tomorrow. Again, a reminder, Energy and Environment will be meeting upon adjournment, and I just want you all to know that there is remote testimony available tomorrow for Energy and Environment. We'll be hearing the climate bill.
Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Go Avs, go. They only need 1 point to make the playoffs. They're playing tonight, so I know I'm going to miss it probably, which is unfortunate. But if they get that 1 point, both the Avalanche and the Nuggets will be in the playoffs for the first time in a long time. Go Avs, go.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I don't know if Representative Van Winkle knows this, but if the Avs make the playoffs and the Nuggets make the playoffs, they have reached out to us, and we're working with our chief clerk to determine whether or not to put a flag on the balcony celebrating our playoff teams. So we'll make sure we work with you on that.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, today is the Children's Caucus at noon, from noon to 1, in room 107, and you'll be able to hear from Tennyson's Center for Children. They're going to talk about their collaborative reform effort and court improvement project. So please be there. There are lunches for legislators. That's 12 to 1 today in room 107.
Representative Liston.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Hope you're having a good day.
You too.
Members, it's quiz time. It's quiz time. It's your chance. It's quiz time. It's all pay attention. Keep an eye on here. What is today from 5:30 to 7:30? Does anybody have an answer? At the U. Well, besides that, okay. If by any chance we happen to be off, that's right. Representative Landgraf has won. The eye physicians and surgeons of Colorado are having their reception for us down at the U Club. You're all invited, so bring your little rubber eyeballs and they will check them out. So that's today from 5:30 to 7:30. The Colorado Society of Eye Physicians and Surgeons today from 5:30 to 7:30. I know you all paid attention. So, and then last but not least, Madam Speaker, a bit of economic news. Jobless claims are the lowest level. It was announced today the jobless claims are the lowest level in 49 years. Let's hear it for our great economy.
Representative Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good morning. I am requesting the day off for Monday, April 8th to go to the doctor.
Permission granted. Any other announcements or introductions? Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, just a quick scheduling update. I have spoken with the minority leader. After, we're going to do a few thirds this morning, and then we're going to break. I know my caucus is going to go and caucus on the amendments, but we're going to plan on coming back here to start second reading on the long bill at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. So everyone can go get lunch, and we can all plan on coming back at a set time. If you have any questions, feel free to come ask me. Please actually don't talk to me about it.
Okay. Any other announcements or Representative Landgraf?
Members, I would like your attention on this. It's serious. Members,
Could we
thank
please
you.
have your attention?
It was just brought to my attention by Representative Valdez that Friday, 2 Fort Carson soldiers, a Green Beret and a bomb disposal technician, were killed fighting the Taliban in Afghanistan. Specialist Joseph Collette, 29, of Lancaster, Ohio, and Sergeant First Class Will Lindsay, 38, of Cortez, died in the battle in, I don't know how to pronounce this, Kudus province. Collette was a newlywed and a 9-year Army veteran who was on his first Afghanistan deployment. It's just tragic to once again have to come up here and talk about the death of 2 of our soldiers who have dedicated their lives and to protect us. I'd ask for a moment of silence.
Moment of silence is granted. Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and it's an honor to serve with you on this fine day.
It's an honor to serve with you, Representative.
Members, let's never forget and always remember those who have served and gave the ultimate sacrifice, and thank our veterans, the men and women for this great country, United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would just like to ask you to keep their families in your prayers.
Thank you, Representative. Any other announcements or introductions? Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
You as well, Representative.
Thank you. As you heard, one of those boys was from Cortez. If you wondered for the last couple of days why the flag is flying at half-staff on the Capitol, it's because our governor ordered it to. And I want to thank him for doing that. That family in Cortez will never get over this. But we shouldn't either. And for him to be honored by the state of Colorado by lowering the flags around the state is one small tribute that this Colorado can make to him. I want to thank him and his family, but I also want to thank the state of Colorado for recognizing that we lost one of our best and brightest. So keep his family and all of them in your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. The next order of business is third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 91.
Senate Bill 91 by Senators Fields and Cook, House Representative Singer, concerning support of peace officers involved in a use of force incident.
Representative Singer.
Let me move it first.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 91 on third reading and final passage.
Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As most of you know, I don't typically come down to speak on third reading, especially after we had such a long debate. The reason that I wanted to come down is really for me. A lot of you noticed that I might not have made it on time to the House floor yesterday. And so this bill was laid over. And what this bill is about it's about providing mental health services and ensuring that people who are involved in officer-involved shootings are ready to return to work and creating the right policies for this. And I want to say, first of all, that I am so thrilled to see that law enforcement came to the table and made this a bill that they support and that they can work with. And they were the advocates in the House when the advocates were actually completely different in the Senate. That being said, the reason I said that I'm up here for me, not even necessarily for this bill, is I didn't get a lot of sleep last night or the night before. And the reason is I came back to thinking about this bill and I came back to thinking about how I might fit in these shoes. Because when I did child welfare work, you don't get a gun, you don't get a flak jacket, but you do see kids that aren't coming back to their homes and are going in a casket. And so it reminded me of the first time that this ever happened to me, where I was given the chance to work with a family. There was some domestic violence going on. I called my boss, I called the police, I called everybody I could. Couldn't get any motion, any movement. And after I had to close my case, because we couldn't get enough evidence to do anything, 2 months later, my boss and her supervisor get me in a room and they say, oh, well, yeah, you know that family you were working with? Yeah, we kept trying to work with them. One of those kids is dead now. Dad kidnapped the kid and passed away, was killed. And I thought to myself, first of all, as we're thinking about the death penalty, well, I hope they charge him and I hope he gets the death penalty. But in my darker moments, I thought, well, they should probably put me away too, because I could have done something better. And so what did I do? I doubled down on work, and of course my work suffered. And so I don't know how many other cases I could have done a better job on, because I was so hyper vigilant. I said, not one more time will I ever let this happen again. And then on my desk, I got another case with the same situation, different family, and I just froze. I didn't know what to do. And so I called one of my former lead workers who was working in a slightly different department, and I called her up. I said, what do I do? And she said, don't worry, Jonathan, we're going to go out on this case together. We're going to figure this out. You've been through this road before. I'm going to help you. And if that's where the story ended, I think that we'd be in a good spot. But instead, what happened is my supervisor came out, and I think they meant well, but came out and said, why didn't you call me? Why weren't you reaching out to me? Why weren't you doing this through our department? Why? Because I had frickin' PTSD. And I didn't know what was going on. And I was lucky enough to have a lead supervisor out there who said, whatever Jonathan wants, we're going to give him what he needs to make sure that he does his job. Ultimately, not just from that case, but from lots of cases, I ended up being transferred to a different team, doing a different kind of work, because I didn't have all the things that I needed as a caseworker. And I can't tell you how many times I felt like that little voice in my head that said, you should just quit, you should just walk away, and how many other times in my head I heard, not one more, keep working harder, keep going. When you have those conflicting voices going on in your head, you can't sleep. You can't get your work done. I was given a badge, I was never given a gun. But I can't imagine what it's like to be given that responsibility, given what was going on in my head. The conflicting voices saying, give up, go away, call the police and have them arrest you and take you away. You could have done better. You let that kid die. And the voice saying, double down, you got to help your caseworkers out. You can't leave them in the lurch because they're going to see the same thing that you saw, and you can't let them see that. I know these things don't necessarily sound like they make sense, but those are the voices that go on in the heads of every caseworker. And like I said, I was fortunate enough to have a lead supervisor who understood what I needed and got me some of the help that I needed eventually. But just imagine if I was the one with the badge and the gun. And just imagine that there isn't a policy out there, or there isn't an agency or a supervisor out there that doesn't understand all the rules and procedures that have been brought about by collaboration. That's what this bill is about. And I'm not talking about this today because I need the votes to pass this. I know I've got the votes to pass this. I'm talking about this today because I'd like to try and get some sleep again. And I feel like I appreciate your indulgence because I felt the need to share this in the hopes that you understand a little bit better, and in the hopes that you can take a little bit of this with you, whether you vote for this or against this. We can talk about the details all day, and we'll never get all the details right. But ultimately, what this bill is about for me is making sure that that lead supervisor that I had has those procedures to back her up to say, hey, you know what? We need to give Officer Smith everything that he or she needs. Let's get it to them so they can get back on the force and do their job and make those split-second decisions. And most of mine weren't split-second decisions. Split-second decisions. Because there will be another one that slips through the cracks. There will be another kid's funeral. But that doesn't mean that that officer or that caseworker needs to be put away or retired. It means that we need to embrace them. It means that we need to understand what was going on with them. And it means that we need to make sure we have the policies and procedures in place so they can get the peace of mind at night, so they can get back on the force and on the job that they have chosen to do for their lives, which is what our police officers want. This is not just a job, it is a career and a profession. There's nothing like it. So I'm not going to ask you to vote for or against this bill. I'm just going to thank you for your time and your thoughts and your indulgence on this, and I'll leave it at that.
Representative Bockenfeld.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
You as well, Representative.
Members, this is a local control issue. And albeit it is a very good principled, I'm going to call it a bill, but what's trying to be accomplished with this bill, but it's a best management practice in the profession. All of the large law enforcement agencies that I have spoken to already do this. And all we're trying to accomplish with this bill is to put a mandate on every medium-sized and small law enforcement agency throughout this state, from Craig to Lamar to Cortez to Sterling, to basically create a law and mandate that they follow what's best for their agency and not their own plan that's been developed. I ask for a no vote on this bill, and let's let the professional chiefs of police that have been hired for these medium and small police departments work with the chiefs of police, Colorado Chiefs of Police, and the Colorado Sheriff's Department to work on this as a best practices. And I have no problem if we did a referendum saying that we feel as a legislature that this is the best practice that should be incorporated, but I don't think we need to make a law and make it and mandate it on the medium and small law enforcement agencies. Again, I ask you for a no vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 91 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please vote. Baisley, please close the machine. With 56 aye votes, 7 no votes, 2 excused, Senate Bill 91 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 78.
Senate Bill 78 by Senators Donovan and Bridges, also Representatives Hansen and Harrod, concerning the protection of the open internet connection there with disqualifying internet service provider from receiving high-cost support mechanism money or money received or financed by employment of the internet service provider engages in such certain practices that interfere with the open internet, requiring internet service provider that engages in such practices to refund any such money received and require government bodily contracted for broadband internet service to give preference to an internet service provider that certifies that it will engage in practices that interfere with the open internet.
Well done. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 78 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 78 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please vote. Beckman and Catlin and Humphrey. Please close the machine. With 41 aye votes, 22 no votes, and 2 excused, Senate Bill 78 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1222.
House Bill 1222 by Representatives Kipp and McCluskey, also our story concerning a grant program to reduce the amount of the International Baccalaureate exam fee paid by students.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1222 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1222 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please vote. Representative Benavides. Please close the machine. With 43 aye votes, 20 no votes, and 2 excused, House Bill 1222 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1231.
House Bill 1231 by Representatives Froelich and Kipp, also Senator Lee, concerning efficiency standards for equipment sold in Colorado in connection with requiring certain appliances, plumbing fixtures, and other products sold for residential or commercial use to meet energy efficiency and water efficiency standards.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1231 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1231 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please vote. Baisley, Escar, Harrod and Humphrey. Please close the machine. With 40 aye votes, 23 no votes, and 2 excused, House Bill 1231 is passed. Co-sponsors. Yeah. Please close the machine. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until 1 p.m. today.
Seeing no objection, the House will be in recess till 1 p.m. today. Members, we will now go to our caucus on budget amendments. Representative Garnett, does that happen right this minute? Do they go straight there?
I think we do. Yeah, we both do.
So we're going to 271?
271.
And Minority Leader Neville?
And we will be in 112.
Okay, so the Republican caucus goes to 112, the Majority caucus goes to 271.